My name is Cody Lasby, and today we will talk about the impact of Ford Motors. Before we get started, some things that will be discussing is the early life, the assembly line, the Great Depression, World War II, and post World War II, oil crisis, globalization, technological advances, and then finally our conclusion. Introduction. Build Ford Tough to me means perseverance. Ford has been around for over 120 years now. No regular business lasts that long just by chance. Ford has unquestionably preserved over its century of life. Over its long history, they have seen and have been a part of various historical events and has seen its fair share of problems. Even with these setbacks, they always continue to adapt and evolve. Ford is indeed built tough. Next, let's talk about early life. Ford Motors was founded by a man named Henry Ford in 1903. Ford realized that the world was changing and saw a need for a first car, and that car was the Model A. The Model A was a huge hit. He soon made an improved car called the Model T. The Model T was cheaper and crushed all competition at the time from 1908 to the 1920s. Next, let's talk about the assembly line. In 1913, Ford revolutionized the way production was done in every way possible by finding the man that created the assembly line. The man who invented the assembly line was Ramsey Olds. This was revolutionary. This raised Ford Motors production through the roof. Also, it made a massive production at a high efficiency rate. Then that leads us to the Great Depression. With every high, there's a low. The Great Depression started in 1929 to the 1930s. It was caused by a devastating global economic effect to not only to the stock market, but also the automotive world. Ford was one of the only companies that stayed open during the Great Depression. They had to make hard choices to stay afloat. They laid off employees and lowered prices of their vehicles to adjust to the trying times. Again, here's another low where Ford persevered. World War II. In 1939, World War II started. It had a big role in taking the United States out of the Great Depression by restoring economic activity. The war led to a huge increase in how much the government was spending. The war also gave opportunities that created jobs and boosted industrial production. Ford saw this and took advantage of the opportunity. As a result, car manufacturing quickly shifted their focus to wartime productions, including Ford. They shifted most, if not all, of its resources to helping the U.S. in its effort against the Axis power. Ford had a variety of different types of vehicles, such as tanks, planes, and the most notable being the GPW, General Purpose Wheelers, also known as Jeep. After World War II, the economy was flourishing. As a result, there was an instant demand need for more automobiles. Ford saw and answered this needs and increased production and expansion. Ford then introduced the 1949 Ford. With all their branches combined, Ford sold over 1 million cars that year. Ford was back to the basics. Another low that happened was the oil crisis. In 1973, the embargo concluded the trade of oil to the United States due to the states aiding the Israel military in the Arab-Israeli war. This started the oil crisis of 1973. The United States took a large hit from this. Gas prices grew to all-time high. Citizens noticed this and made them rethink their transportation options. Ford did what they always have done. They saw a problem and introduced the need for smaller cars to answer these problems. Now we're going to talk about globalization. Globalization in general is a vital tool in the advancement of society. The best thing to happen to any successful company is to expand, of course. Ford saw its need for change and did just that. In North America, Ford came out with new products and put out around 20 new vehicles. Ford also noticed they needed a redesign the majority of their fleet. That leads us into their technological advances. As history unfolds, the introduction of technological advances came about. These advances had let Ford implement cutting edge technology in everything that they do. Another advancement is the way Ford's assembly line worked. Ford has implemented robotics to their formula that jump started its enterprise. Ford also has taken advantage of technology that helped them design their significant products in more recent efforts. Ford is the first car company to use a tool called Gravity Sketch. This allows Ford to produce and design its cars with more detail. In conclusion, Ford Motors has had a complex history. They have had their hands in so many different types of historical and economical influences, such as being one of the first automotive industries, introducing higher production of the assembly line, surviving the times of the Great Depression, and taking advantage of World War II and having a positive outlook before and after the war. Persevering throughout the oil crisis, being able to notice the benefiting effects of globalization, and accepting the advancement of technology. Through history, Ford has shown that they are up for the task. Ford has influenced its strategies, production, and global presence to the world time and time again. Ford was and still is built to last. Thank you.